She walked through the cafe with a practiced smile, but her eyes told a different story, one of fear, exhaustion, and silent battles. No one noticed, except one man sitting quietly in the corner. What he saw that day would change everything. The cafe buzzed with the usual sounds, laughter, clinking glasses, and the comforting aroma of fresh coffee drifting through the air. Sunlight painted golden streaks across polished wooden floors, and on the surface it looked like any ordinary morning. Families shared pancakes, students typed on laptops, and couples enjoyed brunch. But near the corner booth, one man sat observing. And what caught his attention wasn't the food or the chatter. It was the waitress. Her name tag read Emily. She wore a neat apron, her hair tied up in a bun, but behind her smile was something fragile. Every time she walked past one particular table in the center, her body tensed. She avoided looking directly at the men seated there, her steps quickening, her hands trembling just enough for a keen eye to notice. The man in the corner, his name was Michael, noticed. He had seen subtle signs before, and this wasn't casual avoidance. This was fear. The men at the table were three, well-dressed, laughing too loudly, their eyes fixed on Emily like hunters circling prey. One of them tapped his glass arrogantly, demanding her attention. Emily froze, then darted the other way, pretending to be busy. But her act was transparent. Michael's chest tightened. Years as a CEO had taught him to read people, but this was more than business instinct. It reminded him of his sister, who once confessed the harassment she endured at her first job. He hadn't been there for her then, and that guilt never left him. This time he wasn't going to sit back. Emily had been through enough already. She was new in the city, working back-to-back shifts, raising her 7-year-old daughter Lily alone. Every night she returned to a small apartment where bills piled higher than her strength. And yet she never gave up because Lily's smile was her reason to keep going. But these men, they were breaking her spirit. They had harassed her before, their comments sharper each time, their smirks crueler. Emily had brushed it off once, but today she was on the verge of breaking. She needed this job desperately, but at what cost? Michael's decision came the moment one of the men leaned in too close as Emily served their drinks, whispering something that made her flinch. Another deliberately brushed her hand, sending her retreating in shame as their laughter echoed. That was enough. Michael stood. His steps were calm, steady, but every eye in the cafe turned as he walked to Emily first. He asked softly if she was okay. She forced a smile and nodded, but her trembling voice betrayed her. He didn't press. He simply gave her a look that said, "You're not alone." Then he turned. The cafe grew quiet. Michael faced the three men, his voice low but firm, carrying both calm authority and sharp warning. He told them their behavior was unacceptable, that Emily deserved respect like anyone else. They scoffed, mocking him. But Michael didn't waver. Leaning in just enough, he warned them. Leave now or face consequences far heavier than embarrassment. For a moment, silence. Then the men exchanged looks, realizing he wasn't bluffing. With muttered curses, they tossed bills on the table and left. Relief swept through the cafe. Emily stood frozen, her apron clenched in her fists, her chest heaving. Michael turned back, his expression softening. He told her she had done nothing wrong, that she deserved safety and respect. For the first time that day, Emily felt seen. She whispered a shaky thank you before slipping into the back, where she finally allowed her tears to fall. What Michael didn't know was that Emily had almost quit that very morning, convinced she couldn't face those men again. But someone noticed. Someone cared enough to step in, and that gave her strength she thought she'd lost. In the days that followed, Michael quietly returned to the cafe, not as a hero, but as a customer who wanted to make sure she was okay. Slowly, Emily's smile returned. Her steps grew steadier. Small conversations blossomed into trust. Michael learned about Lily, and one day he even offered to help with her schoolwork when Emily admitted she was struggling to keep up. From then on, he wasn't just a kind stranger. He became part of their little circle of hope. Emily admired his quiet strength, and Michael admired hers, the way she carried the weight of the world, yet still found ways to smile for her daughter. Months later, Emily would look back at that day and realize how close she had been to giving up. But one person's courage reminded her of her worth. Michael didn't just protect her, He gave her back her confidence, her dignity, and her belief that kindness still exists.